on both trials, but then they bragged about it all over social media, including posting a group photo on the steps of this very courthouse, holding out all of their thumbs down, refusing to settle. As for not wanting the death penalty, it's my firm belief that death would bring me untold peace and freedom. That's my personal belief. If I died today, I would be free and I would be at peace.
Anne Bremner, what do you make of Jodi Arias? The fog was lifted, first of all. Just a bad set of circumstances really going on the defense in the courtroom there. That is not the appropriate thing that she should have said. You agree?
There are a lot of things that were not appropriate that she said and she shouldn't have said. It's like deja vu all over again. She's always a victim, and she was on the stand for longer than the Nuremberg trials, it seems like, in her first trial. And then she's just what we call, relitigating it again, and then blaming the victim's family, for not settling. I mean, how do you settle a death penalty case? You settle a civil case. You don't settle a death penalty case, and that's just ridiculous. And they wouldn't be the ones that would do it. It would be, Juan Martinez anyway, if he was going to offer a plea deal. I mean, it's just a last-ditch attempt by her once again, to try and get sympathy and try to be the one that's in the right. The gunshots first. It was self-defense, They're all over the social media. They could have made these go away. We didn't have to have two trials. Maybe death would have been better for me. I mean, she just pulled out all the stops, but it didn't work.
And what she wanted to plead to was second-degree murder, which is she didn't say that part when she was going through her screaming or mitigation in front of a judge. Yeah, exactly. This is not a second-degree case by any stretch. And I don't know if you caught the interview with Jennifer Wilmot, and she still feels that Jodi is the victim. As does the mother. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if you heard the mother's comment.
That's amazing, though, King, because when you look at a case of self-defense, when a guy is stabbed that many times, his throat is slit ear to ear, he's shot. And anyone that's seen the death pictures in this case knows that this was a horrific, intentional homicide. In self-defense, it just doesn't fit with the facts. There's just no way, given what she did to him. So, the fact that she can sit and show, claimed remorse or play the victim or blame, Travis's family, is just ludicrous. But then again, it was her last chance, and she lost. And the judge, has put her away, without any chance of ever seeing the light of day. That's the best that she could get. I mean, only one juror saved her from death.
Yes, and that juror was juror 17, and a lot of things came out about that juror. That her ex maybe was prosecuted by Juan Martinez.
Right.
You heard about that? You heard about that she might have saw the Lifetime special that was in there. She wouldn't budge.
Yes.
She said it's just a form of revenge. And as you know, when you take an oath that you can give the death penalty, that is an oath that you have to stand by, right?
Right. They call it being death qualified. And she took that oath as a juror that that was her position, that she could fairly try the case, that she wasn't so against the death penalty or for it that she would be tainted in some way. And it takes a long time to pick a death-qualified jury, for obvious reasons. And clearly, it appears there's a violation of her oath. And the fact of the prosecution of her husband by Juan Martinez in this Lifetime movie that she saw, failing to disclose that kind of information in voir dire can lead to a new trial, But in this case, Jodi Arias, it all favored her. It didn't favor Juan Martinez. They had what we call, and it's called a stealth juror. Somebody that gets on the panel, they're stealth. They don't say anything. They don't, alert anybody they could be a problem. And then they surface and create some mayhem, which this juror did.
And did you see the lead attorney for Jodi Arias say, "Judge, please, I want off this case." He actually said, "Please, I want off this case."
I mean, I would be like, "Get me off this case." I think he's wanted off for a long time. You can just see it in his face, like, "Get me away from her." And I loved also the comment that, you know, the real Jodi's a lot more perky and happy than the Jodi we saw in the courtroom. I'm like, oh, heaven help us, you know.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
Yeah.
Well, and the mother, oh, my, she said, I'll never get to see Jodi, you know, go to a wedding and this and that. And I'm thinking to myself, you know, she'll never get to see Jodi do that, but Travis Alexander will never, you know, get to take a walk outside, you know.
Right. He'll never be able to see a sunset. He'll never be able to, you know, go on a date or have a girlfriend or, you know, progress in his job like he was. You know, all of the dreams he had, you know, were just brutally taken away for no reason. By somebody he cared about, obviously.
Yes, and there's a lot of people that say that, you know, that take Jodi's position and that she was mentally, you know, like sensitive to Travis, and Travis was like this guy who just called her around for a booty call, if you will, and I don't know, listen, whatever the case may be, it does not qualify to stab the poor fella 29 times.
Right.
And then just to say that in open court and let that family hear that he was conscious, he made sure.
I know.
And it was just, it just felt so bad. And as they were crying, and oh my goodness gracious, that poor family.
It was that poor family, and for her to turn back on them and blame them. I mean, victims are victims. You know, family members of, you know, murdered, you know, individuals go through hell, and they never get over it. There's no closure. There's no, you know, real justice, you know, for his family. And so for her to turn on them at that point was, I think, very, very cruel, you know, given everything that's transpired so far. And everyone knows that she stalked him and she came in the doggy door and, you know, all of these things that led up to what was an obsessive, you know, revenge, jealousy-driven, potentially homicide.
Oh, there's no question about it. And